Hello everyone, this is the Mayor of Gaming, and today we are doing a top 10 list of characters I think should be added for DLC in Smash Bros. With Nintendo recently announcing that they are doing the viewer polls, we're seeing a lot of opportunities for some new characters to make their way onto the roster. So, without further ado, in no particular order, here are 10 characters that I would love to see in upcoming DLC for Smash. Starting off, we're going to look at a character that is pretty damn old. We'll go with that. He's appeared in every single Nintendo platform to date, save for the 3DS and the Wii U. He's had several manga and anime. He's also one of the most commercially successful of all time. I am, of course, talking about Bomberman. Bomberman was a crazy popular game on the NES and has appeared in pretty much on almost every damn console since then. It even got a terrible reboot for the 360, which, dear God, it was just awful. But yes, I think he would work rather well in Smash Bros. His specials would be various bomb moves, like down B would maybe just set the bomb right where he is. Direction, forward B would be throw a bomb. Up B, that would be interesting. Maybe he could call one of his friends to get a lift. Maybe even Pommy from... did Pommy have a flying form? I'm not sure. I think that was from Bomberman 64, The Second Attack, I believe, which also a fantastic game. You know, both of the Bomberman 64 games were absolutely wonderful. But, yeah, I would love to see him in get a slot in Smash Bros. Why not, right? Anyway, moving on. Next we have Bayonetta. This one should come as no surprise, as this Umbra Witch has been kind of at the forefront of Nintendo's lineup since her name was announced, her game was announced. When Bayonetta 2 was revealed to be Wii U exclusive, people lost their fucking minds. And for good reason, because we never thought we'd see a sequel to this, much less one that was actually backed by Nintendo. This one I see having a chance to be in the game, but not a high one in particularly, considering Bayonetta's kind of risque style of fighting. I would envision her kind of as a Zero Suit Samus clone, almost, if she did make it in. But she could be so much more than that. It would be awesome to see her in the game, because, her game centers around her fighting and kicking ass and taking names and just being awesome. So I think it'd be cool. I'd love to see Bayonetta in the game. Make her a more mobile based character, stylish moves, combo oriented. That could give us some new ground. It's something that we don't really see with many characters in Smash, because you can do some combos, but for the most part, yeah, the combos are maybe one or two, or not one, maybe 2-3 hits, depending on the percentage. But I would like to see Bayonetta be kind of a more combo-centric character. Of course, that would mean her normal attacks would do probably jack shit. But overall, she could get, decent percentages off of combos that would take some finesse to pull off. Probably be one of a high level of execution based character, but it'd be interesting. Alright, and next. On the NES, we saw a lot of iconic characters get their moment in the sun, and Simon Belmont did not shy away from that. In the NES game Castlevania, he was a really just fun protagonist. He used a whip. Not many other, games had a guy with a whip. You'd have swords, every so often you'd have axes, but never a whip, really. So, thinking, Simon Belmont, he could be an interesting character. He would have, some good grapple moves. His specials could be, throwing some of his sub-weapons, like Holy Water, or, daggers, axes, things like that. Maybe give him like a charge move similar to Pac-Man, where it changes the special that he has equipped. That could be kind of neat. As far as the version I'd want to see of him, we could probably get some palette swaps going on. I would like to see the original version of him with blonde hair and, Fabio-esque looking. But the one from the remake where he has the bright red hair and the black armor, I think is particularly cool looking because of the whole the goth feel to it. But yeah, I think Simon Belmont would be a good fit in the Nintendo-based fighter. Because, again, when people think NES, Castlevania usually comes up as one of the better games for it. And it'd be pretty friggin' cool. Moving on. Now, Sonic is already in the game. And a lot of people would like to see Tails in the game. Not me. I'd like to see Knuckles in the game. Why? Because he's different from Sonic in quite a few ways. Tails, honestly, is kind of... he's pretty much Sonic, only he can fly. Knuckles can glide. He's got the, they give him some crazy good horizontal recovery. Think about that. He's got... He strikes me as more of a fighter, too. That's probably the main reason. And I don't want to see the Sonic Boom style Knuckles, not the stupid gorilla, big, stupid, excessive bandages everywhere. I don't want to see that. I want to see classic Knuckles. And I think he'd work really well in the game. Give him some, jabs, some special moves. I'd like to see him and Mac go toe-to-toe. I think that could be pretty interesting. Have another character that's kind of like a glass cannon. Good dodges, some good, some really good just, punching moves, some good smashes, but give him ass for recovery. Like, you'd probably have a decent glide, like he does in the game, but make it so like he gets next to no upward, like pretty much no upward force when he does that. I could see that being interesting. Give him a pretty crappy jump, and he would make for like a good contender to Little Mac. Like you'd have two characters that specialize in going toe to toe, being aggressive, being reactionary, and have absolute shit for recovery. So you knock them off the ledge once, they're pretty much done. Knuckles, I think, would make a strong. I think he'd make a strong addition to the game. It'd be nice to see another straight-up brawler and not just another swordsman, which is ironic because I think I have a few swordsmen on this list, but I digress. Moving on. Crystal from Star Fox is notable for making any image search for Star Fox a little not safe for work. I actually really like the character, too. I know it's pretty controversial because not a lot of people do, for honestly some really valid reasons. She's not written very well in the later games. In fact, Star Fox Command kind of... Yeah, we're not going to talk about Star Fox Command. Assault, she was actually kind of cool, giving her some psychic powers and pretty much being a new Peppy, where she could scan the enemy fleet, figure out what's going on, and using that. The reason I think she'd be good in Smash is, one, I'd like to see another Star Fox representative. We could go Wolf, but then we'd pretty much just have another clone of Fox. A better clone, like in Brawl. But with Crystal, I think we could get something a little different. Give her the staff. Have her be mostly a melee magic-based fighter. Give her kind of slow shots with her staff, maybe some other tools. I think that could be pretty neat, actually. Crystal as a character, it's alright. She's a fun character just to have around because in the story it made sense that Peppy was getting old, we need a new member, and Crystal kind of got shoehorned into that role. And then, of course, the shipping happened, which was actually pretty damn obvious just given Star Fox Adventures. But I think she'd make a solid addition to the Smash Bros. Roster. Her special could have something to do with maybe a psychic assault on the enemy. That could be kind of cool. Or maybe, like, even calling upon a dinosaur and riding that around. Maybe a pterodactyl. I think that'd be cool. Kind of like the intro scene to her first appearance in Star Fox Adventures. Anyway, next. The Donkey Kong Country series is honestly one of my absolute favorite game series. I grew up playing 1, 2, and 3, in which I'm one of those people that have the controversial opinion that 3 was superior to 2, but not by much. They're both, really fantastic games. I just think 3 had more content, more levels, better graphics, all that stuff. But Kinky Rule from the first one, and him in a pirate hat in the second one, and him in a lab coat in the third one, and him in boxing gloves in 64, was a really fantastic villain because he was really freaking tenacious. For what reason? He wanted Donkey Kong's bananas. Why would an alligator, or what were they called? Kremling? Why would a Kremling want a bunch of bananas? To take over the world, I can only assume. But Kinky Rule, I feel, would make a really good addition to the game, and it would give us another representative from Donkey Kong. Because right now all we really have is Donkey Kong and Diddy. And anyone else would probably just end up being a palette swap or a clone. Like, maybe Funky Kong, but, he'd kind of be the same as Donkey Kong. Maybe Dixie Kong, same problem. Cranky Kong, I don't see really working that well, maybe, but Kinky Rule stands out as a really good person to bring in to represent the Donkey Kong franchise, especially a villain from that franchise. I mean, we could probably take someone from Tropical Freeze, but honestly, are they really as iconic as Kinky Rule? I don't think so. Next. This is the few times in a fantasy world where a doll comes to life is an absolute killing machine, and he isn't evil. I'm of course talking about Guinot from Mario Legend of the Seven Stars, Gino, however you want to pronounce it. I've always called him Guinot. Guinot was a star, actually, who inhabits the body of a child's doll in order to go on a quest to save the rest of the Seven Stars, and thus repairing Star Road. This character always stood out in the game just kind of as a unique character, because we never really saw him again. Him and Mallow, actually, but Mallow was kind of unless, compared to Guinot, he was Guinot was kind of like a thief, assassin-style character with heavy attacks, but really high crit. Hard to explain. He was just a really solid character. And I would love to see him again. I really hope Square Enix can, maybe just say, okay, here, you can use Guinot for Smash Bros. Because I think they still have the rights to him, because legal mumbo-jumbo. But he'd make a cool fighter. I mean, just all of his arm attachments alone would give him just some cool special moves, just some cool abilities in general. And hell, for a Super Smash, have him equip, like, what was it called? That one giant star laser that he gets. That'd be pretty cool. It'd pretty much be like Samus's, only with stars flying around it. That'd be neat. I would like that. Guinot as a character, I think he would fit in well, just because we got a lot of Mario reps in the roster already, but he stands out because he's from an RPG, and he was only in one game, and is still a fan favorite. If you appeared once in a Mario game on a Super Nintendo and you still have a huge fan following, man, you deserve to be in Smash Bros. But I digress. Let's move on to the next one. Unless you lived under a rock for the last few years, you probably know what Shovel Knight is. The Kickstarter darling that went on to gain a massive fan base more or less overnight, and for a really freaking good reason. Game's sweet. The game is freaking awesome. It's full of charm, full of secrets, and it manages to actually capture that NES style that so many OMG so retro indie games try to capture and horribly fail at. Shovel Knight is one of the most how should I put it? It's probably the best representation of what gaming was like on the NES that has been made in modern times. Short from going back to the NES, to the Mega Drive, the Genesis, the Super Nintendo, short from going back to those, this will give you a pretty good experience of, hey, this is classic platforming action gaming. Enjoy. The story itself is actually kind of cool, too. Something I didn't really expect going into it. And it's told in such a way that, I don't know, it's really touching. And it helps that the game is still being updated with free DLC, because why the fuck not? Shovel Knight being in Smash, though, he probably wouldn't have a huge moveset. I could see him kind of as a character that has a smaller moveset, more basic moveset, but can do a lot with it. Maybe give one of his shovel slashes the property to reflect projectiles. That'd be kind of neat. Give him the shovel pogo. Use like just a ton of his sub weapons. That'd be cool. And if every character on this list came to light, we could see Simon Belmont versus Shovel Knight. And I believe Simon Belmont was one of Shovel Knight's inspirations, so that could be pretty neat. We'd also see him with Mega Man, which of course is one of the big inspirations, but I think he would fit in really well in Smash. An imaginative character with a quirky moveset. I think it'd be fun. And let's see, moving right along. Shante. Shante is the belly dancing half genie who was in one of the most technologically advanced Game Boy Color games at its time, brought by Way Forward Technologies and published by Capcom a few times. She's just a really cool character. Shante is just, I think she'd fit in really well, and we even have the creators of Shante saying, oh, hell yes, if Nintendo wants Shante to be in Smash, she will be in Smash. They are fully behind it. They've even shown, like, they've even gotten artwork of different costumes that she could use. And I think that'd be really cool. With her transformations, with her just magic abilities, she would be a really fun and unique character to use. And considering she starred in one of the most technologically advanced Game Boy Color games, and have been on she's been on, most of her games have been on Nintendo consoles, maybe everyone. I think every game she's been in has been on the Nintendo as well. So, yeah, I think she'd be qualified for it, especially since she originated as an exclusive. Hell, I think she's more than qualified. And with the new Half Genie Hero coming out, and the designs from that looking really freaking awesome, it'd be a cool character to have. And, yeah, it'd be neat just to have a magic genie on the roster, just doing spells and causing havoc like it's no big deal. I'd be down for that. Alright, moving on to the last one. If you were anything like me, and you owned a Game Boy Advance, you probably played Golden Sun, and it might have sparked a lifelong love of RPGs. Now, as far as characters from the series that could be in, the only one that really just strikes out in my mind is Isaac. Isaac from Golden Sun is one of the quintessential RPG characters, and it was one of the things that pretty much made the Game Boy Advance known for freaking awesome RPGs. This started the trend. The second one was really good, not as good arguably than the first one, but the first one left off on a cliffhanger and you kind of had to, yeah. But yes, as a character, he would be freaking amazing. I mean, you would have the standard, sword stuff, which we got a lot of sword fighters, but, I think we could make room for Isaac. Give him some earth-moving abilities, some ground-based stuff. I think that'd just be a lot of fun. Palette-wise, I'd like to see maybe his standard classic version, and then maybe as a palette swap, have the version of him from Dark Dawn when he's older, like 30 years later. I think he's in his 40s or something at this point, where he's seen some shit. He's got a nice he's got a beard. He's got the what was it, trench coat. It's been a while since I played the game, but I think he would make a really good, just a really solid addition to Smash Bros. And he is one of the more notable Nintendo characters, especially for his day, because Nintendo hasn't really made a lot of RPGs that were flat out original stories. Like, they would adapt different games to be RPGs, like Mario. But it was rare that we would see just a straight up RPG that was fully original. And Golden Sun showed that, yeah, we can do this, and it can be really awesome. So, yeah. Isaac, Golden Sun, make it happen. Anyway, I think that wraps up this list of the 10 characters I'd like to see. Again, this was in no particular order, and it was just all my opinion. Leave a comment below of characters you'd like to see. Give the video a thumbs up, hit the little subscribe button, all that YouTube shill shit. So, yeah. Until next time, this has been the Mayor of Gaming. Have a good one.